Last Saturday morning on Sky News, the words of a reporter really got to me. They were interviewing a pensioner from Kent. Let me show you a clip.
It is difficult for Roy to enjoy summer when every day it brings him closer to winter.
It depresses me and I'm getting really as if I want to give in. I'll say to my daughter, I've had enough of it now.
Every day of summer means one day closer to winter, and in winter, he, the pensioner, would need to choose between heating or eating on a daily basis. Tell me that doesn't hurt. To know that the most vulnerable in our country are having to make that kind of choice. The reason is twofold. Energy prices are going up overall. Everyone will feel this pinch. Ofgem have confirmed that they are going to be rising energy caps from October. The government benefit, which helped with energy charges for people only on a pension, is now going to simply disappear, and we need to look at why pensioners are going to be suffering the most. The price cap itself is the maximum an energy company can charge on their standard tariff. The standard charge is going up by 1%, the unit charge is another matter. Electric charges will go up by 9.6% on average, and gas by 14%. The winter fuel allowance, which was given to pensioners, was a tax-free payment, which helped them to pay for the cost of heating their homes and other matters needing energy. Now, whilst removing the payment for many pensioners, the Chancellor is saying it will be done through means testing, and the government will ensure that the payment is remaining in place for the poorest of pensioners. For a staunch socialist, this sounds like a good theory, helping the most in need. But that is theory, and I think we should look at this closer. The number of pensioners receiving the payment will go down from 11.4 million people to just 1.5 million. That's 9.9 million people affected. A means test is theoretically designed to find those most in need, but even Labour MPs know that the means test is way too narrow. The people it excludes will be driven closer to or under the poverty line. There are a few ways we can describe this: uncosted, unsympathetic, short-termism. How is Reeves really going to hold that policy up to the light and say that it was well and truly thought out? Interestingly, a rebellion is brewing in the Labour ranks about this. The last time there was a rebellion, 7 MPs lost the whip. What is Reeves and Starmer going to do this time about this one? I can tell you, Labour MPs do not know how to handle vulnerable people calling and writing to their office to ask specifically about why they are being punished in such an unsocialist way. When asked about what they're going to do about the rising energy prices and the effect on pensioners due to the removal of the fuel allowance, the Labour Party will place the blame firmly at the feet of the Tory party. Now, I always like to be fair, and I promise to always say when I think that my party got something wrong. It's the best approach to politics, and it's the only way we get governments to do the right thing by a country and not just to please a noisy few. Our energy prices are so volatile because they are at the mercy of a global market. Normal supply and demand issues causes prices to fluctuate. But since 2020, the volatility of energy prices has really proven to be an issue. Global matters like the pandemic, the war in Ukraine, they really showed how UK prices react to the global market. The Tory party stated this many times when they were in power. However, there are many mitigation measures that should have been taken in the last 10 years at least, which I don't think were quite implemented enough. If you don't want your country to be reactive to what's happening in other countries, then the answer is self-sufficiency. In this regard, we're talking about windmills, onshore and offshore, solar farms, renewable and homegrown energy sources. We certainly have the technology and the enterprise for it. What the Tory government didn't do was ensure that we had the planning structure, public campaign, and industry engagement for it. Let's talk a little bit about planning. Planning rules made it incredibly difficult for solar farms to be built. And when a local anti-group became involved, well, they're impossible. As for onshore wind farms, well, they were simply blocked. Labour is now using this as an excuse for their removing that critical winter fuel help for pensioners, stating that the Tories did not plan for self-sufficiency and thus low energy costs in the long term. Whilst what they're doing to pensioners is disgusting, I think the Tories need to accept that we had the time to plan for real self-sufficiency that would make our prices less elastic, and we didn't quite do so. I always have to take a deep breath before I say that I actually agree with something Labour said or did, but I agree that it was right for them to lift the ban on onshore wind farms. We need renewable energy, and we need it produced at home. Then, of course, we have the matter of taxes. Taxing companies that are securing mass profits, in theory, always sounds very attractive, especially to a socialist. The windfall levy on energy producers implemented in 2022 was a reaction to socialist pressure. All this did was reduce investments into our own oil and gas, and this is the part that makes little sense for a country that was committed to net zero, also applied to renewable energy firms. So far from being supportive, British energy firms have been heavily reprimanded, and the result? Energy prices remain highly affected by a global market. I hope you found this session informative. I wanted to talk about energy just that little bit more because I think it will be prevalent in the news at least for the next few months. I think when we're talking about politics, it's really important that we look at it with a very critical eye, both sides of the argument. When it comes to the Tory party, I think that they're leaving behind a good legacy. I just don't think that enough was done to ensure that our prices aren't so affected by a global market. As for what Labour's doing, well, I firmly believe that it's not long-termism at all. It's short-term solutions to short-term problems that are uncosted and so unsympathetic to vulnerable people. But I think from next week when Parliament resumes, we're going to have so much to talk about from day one, especially for that brewing and new Labour rebellion. That's it for Rebellious Politico, and I'll see you on the next episode.